What time is it, my creatives? That's right, it's photo hacking time, and it's Charlotte Salcedo, your host, and today we're going to be reviewing ArtRage 6. So, I had spent a good part of last week drawing in ArtRage 5 on the tablet on my iPad Pro, and I really enjoyed that. However, I do feel that the desktop version of ArtRage 6 is probably going to win the contest hands down. Now, just a little bit of a background. I do draw in Photoshop. I have drawn in Procreate. I personally never really liked Procreate as much as I liked ArtRage, for the simple fact that ArtRage still gives you a real medium-like feel. And even though I purchased tons and tons of brushes in Procreate, I still can't get the same effect as I do in ArtRage. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and show you guys what these new features are all about, and let's go ahead and dive in. Now I've already taken the liberty of setting up the panels. Not sure if you guys were aware of this, but you could do this in ArtRage 5. So you just change the interface mode. You can change it to classic mode if that's what you like, or you can change it to interface mode, which is a docking mode, and then you can either switch it to have the lights out or lights off. I personally feel that with the lights out, it's more appeasing on the eyes, so to speak. So I've already loaded some of my toolbars here. You can, whoopsies, I don't know what I did here. Okay, samples. You can add samples here. I'm just going to close that out. That was an accident. I need to do that. Okay, so if you want to drag your layers out here and kind of like make it look like Photoshop to make it easier, you just grab your whatever panel you want and stick it here. Now I personally haven't figured out how to dock these. I think that they're just drag and drop anywhere. It would have been cool if they could attach to each other and separate. I know in Photoshop you can resize the panels. This doesn't appear to resize at all, so it's kind of just stuck there. In order to like change the view of your screen, because I know that the whole screen seems white, you can actually change that setting to make it smaller to appear like in between your panels. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so there's a few things that we could do here. So in order to get your canvas to fit inside the screen, you're gonna click just zoom out. You can also select the canvas positioner, and you just put it anywhere you want, and you can rotate the canvas as so when you're drawing, which is pretty cool. Okay, and second here. So if you click on these things here, it will zoom it a perfect 180, so you don't get like a crooked, where you get stuck with a crooked level there. So the next thing that we can do is we can go to View, and then we can go to Canvas Settings. You can change the lighting of your canvas, the color, the opacity, and you can apply art papers. You can apply sandy paper. You can apply basic, essentials, like a fine canvas. If you like a rough canvas, that's all pretty cool. So I really like that, and it's really cool that you have your paint over here. You can go ahead and just, you know, drop the tubes and just start painting. Now the color wheel, you can just drag it around. You can change this too through the settings. You can, you can choose complementary, triad, tetratic, analogs, and split mode, however you like. And then you can just go ahead and mix those together, and it looks really realistic. I've always loved ArtRage and how realistic it looks. It's probably the only program where you're going to get the most realistic effect in any digital program. I mean, it's even better than Photoshop. And I'm not just saying that, it's from experience. I mean, you could see right here. you can drag, and it's really lifelike. It's the only thing that will even come close to traditional media. So with that being said, let's go to the layers, and we're going to create a new layer and then just go ahead and delete that layer. That's how you can get rid of it quickly. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at the new brush. Okay, I'm sorry, it's called Brush Designer, and it's here. And you can create all kinds of new brushes. You can load a brush head from your files here. So if you have something from Photoshop that you've made, you can load it in here, and then you can, you know, change the preset settings and whatnot, and you could essentially turn an ABR brush into a ArtRage brush, which I think is pretty cool. And you can change the grain, you can change the opacity, the flow, all of the same stuff that you change in Photoshop, you can change in here. So essentially, basically what you're going to do is the same thing that you do with Procreate. You're going to recreate your Photoshop brushes for Procreate. You recreate your Photoshop brushes for ArtRage. And I wish that there was a way that you could just convert these brushes so easily, but there's not a program that does that, unfortunately. So you have to do them all by hand. I know. I have like a zillion Photoshop brushes. I know. So you can just go in here and test this out. I really love that. That is really good for like doing really fine like skin drawing and stuff like that. I think that would look really good for airbrushing, you know, after you've done your blocking. This has a smoothing effect. You have a grain amount. Oh, that's really cool looking. I like that. And you can just change these settings in here. You can change all the brush settings, which I don't know what that does. Oh, that's a jitter. Okay. So you have the opacity. And these are all pressure sensitive. So if you have a Wacom tablet like I do, I have the Wacom Intuos Pro. I have the iPad Pro, but unfortunately I don't know, I like the Wacom much better. And I hands down, I think that the pressure points and everything is a little bit more on point. It's more realistic. I rarely draw in my iPad Pro because I feel like it's kind of like off. When you're drawing with when you're drawing with a Wacom and you've been doing it for years, and then you go to the iPad Pro, then you'll know what I mean. But if you started out drawing in an iPad Pro, you will have no idea what I'm talking about. So this is the Brush Designer. So I want to kind of move on to the different other things that is new in ArtRage 6. So you have some different blend modes that you can do in here. And I believe these were here before, but they have some new ones. Watercolor, I don't remember that one being in there. And then you have some bump and blend modes. And you'll have to play with all of these different settings to get, you know, a good feel of how this program is. But it's definitely a lot of cool stuff. I believe that they added a lot of watercolor features because watercolors become so popular. And in my next series, I'm going to be doing some watercolor paintings, so we can test that out. But right now we're just looking at the tools and stuff and getting a feel of how this program is set up. So you can show grids, snap to grids, save grids, and manage grid sets. So this is kind of like what a grid would look like. I think this would be really good for typography, practicing your letters and stuff. Or drawing, or whatever floats your boat. And let's see here, you have stencil options. You can select these stencils here. And I believe you have the option to import stencils now. And I think the tape thing is really cool. We've got all these different shapes. This is really cool. I'm going to have a lot of fun with the shapes and all of this different stuff. You have rulers and grids. So this is really, really fun. This is definitely fun stuff. An alien device. Now you guys know that I love aliens, so anything that has aliens in it, I'm I'm there. You can sign me up. Okay, so that's it for the stencils. I think we've had our fill with that. And let's go back to the tools. So we have tracing options, so you can load a tracing image. I'm sure that you guys already know that. It's basically, when you load a tracing image, you're just loading an image that you can trace over. They also have reference options that you can load too, which instead of having the item behind what you're drawing, like traditional tracing, the reference is just a little sticker with a pin in it, like in the corner of your artboard. So instead of tracing, you'll just be looking at your reference in the corner of your eye or whatever. And then you have all of these grids here. They have new perspective. So you have, this thing is pretty cool that you can start drawing in perspective. Let me go back to the tools. You have paint symmetry. So let's see. That's really cool. And like, I've never used this program before, so, I mean, ArtRage 6, so this is me just opening it up and playing with it. I'm new to it too, so it's not like I studied it and, you know, I had a whole lot. This was, I was asked to review this program, and I know just as much about it as you do, so it's new, it's brand new. And then we have actions where you can record new actions and create actions folders. Basically, probably this was created to, like, if you do a lot of tedious steps for animating or whatnot, this probably makes it a lot simpler. If you watch any of my Photoshop tutorials or you're part of my Photoshop clan, you know that actions make things simpler. They're basically scripts to make things repetitive tasks that you have to do over and over again. Instead of doing them over and over again, you just record what you do, and then you create an action, and then you press the play button every time you want to do it instead of having to repeat those steps. So that's really handy. And then you have all of these patterns and all these different folders of different things. You know, you can load a toolbox in here if you have extra toolboxes. I know a lot of times there will be people who create ArtRage toolboxes, and you can get those or you can buy them from the stores. I don't know anyone in particular that does, but if you go to ArtRage.com, you should be able to find those. And I'm going to leave all the links in the description below, how you can get this program, where to get this program, and more information on how to use it. So, okay, so if you want to turn off all of those grids that we just turned on, you just go back to the tool, you go to perspective, you're going to unclick show perspective, you're going to go to the grids, unclick show grids, and the same thing for the paint symmetry. You have to go back to those to just turn it back off. And we do have these new sticker spray variants. You have to add those stickers in there to add variants to them. So that's a whole lot of fun. And we'll see if we have any new brushes here. Okay, I wanted to show you guys something called sticker sheets. And these are pretty cool. You have all of these weird sticker sheets. You've got gems, you've got gold coins, really cool. Stars, all different kinds of different things, dominoes, baubles, bright baubles. You've got glossy orbs, character sets, brush heads, different kinds of weird and cool brush heads. So this is really cool looking. You've got glossy hair and fur. That's pretty neat. You've got nature with ants and bugs and gravel, and jasper ovals and jasper teardrops. You have these river pebbles, a blue snake, and pretty sure that you can, this is the brush that I picked here. I'm pretty sure that there's a way that you can copy this and make it into a brush head. Let's see, that's a custom brush. Let's see. Okay, so this is a preset brush that you can paint with, I guess, glitter and stuff. Go to the presets here. You can go to the art brushes. Oh, this is cool looking. Calligraphy brush. You have hair brushes, fine fur. It's a lot of stuff in here. Fun brushes. Oh, cotton candy. It doesn't really look like cotton candy though. Bubbles. So this is some cool stuff. Art clippings. That looks like a really cool border. So here is all of your stuff from the sticker sprays that we saw earlier. Star glitter. Oh, that's so pretty. I like that. I have some star brushes like that for Photoshop. You have sparkles. Oh, that's cute. Let's see, Impressionist. I'm going to go ahead and throw these layers and create new, because our artboard's getting kind of crowded. I'm just going to go ahead and I guess each time we use these stickers it makes a new layer. How about merge all layers? Okay. And then we can just create one layer. Okay, cool. So I'm going to go back here and look at, we have black pearl, dice, dominoes, fireballs, gift, gold coins, numbers, paw print, push pin, rainbow spear string. Oh, that's cool looking. Star glitter, push pin, popcorn strand. Now that is cool. That would look so good for Christmas. Making Christmas cards and stuff like that. That's pretty cool. The one thing about Photoshop, it doesn't let you have this type of color color selection in a kind of brush. It's kind of black and white, or it's like multicolored, but it doesn't let you separate the colors into this detail, so I really like that. Let's see here, art brushes. Let's look at wood burning. Oh, that's so cool. I did a lot of wood burning when I was in my teens. Yeah, I guess kids, they went to the mall. I did wood burning. Oh, jellyfish. Cool. So you can see there's a lot to play with here. I mean, they give you a lot of cool brushes. This is like a smudgy brush, I guess. Japanese ink. And you can make your own brushes too with the new brush designer. So, and you have all these different settings here. So that's really, really cool. Okay, so I was saving the best for last, which is the new watercolor features with ArtRage 6. So, the second brush on your tool picker is going to be the watercolor. Okay, if you have your presets panel open, you're going to select presets and you're going to go to the watercolor, and we're going to go through each of these. Now I'm going to be using a pink color for this tutorial, but you can use whatever color you want with the color picker. So I'm using Delicate on Dry, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to try to use another color to see how it blends. And as you can see, it has some really cool blending effects going on there. So it does really feel like watercolor. Look at that. It blended the orange and the purple really well with the pink. So I really like that about this tool. Let's go ahead and try the dried strokes. Okay, so this is a really light one that's using very light water. So that's really cool looking. I really like that. I'm going to also see how it blends with other colors. So it has a really light blending that goes with the other colors. So that looks pretty realistic as well. I really love that. Okay, so let's go to the next brush. The Dry on Wet. Okay, I'm going to do some really big strokes here so you can see how this looks. And let's use a different color. Let's use the orange and mix it together. Well, this one is not as watercolory as I liked it to be, but I think it's probably because we're using the wrong paper. Let me delete this layer and let's pick a better paper. Let's pick a watercolor paper. Gold foil. Oh, that's cool. They have gold foil paper? Amazing. Okay, but that's not what we need. I'm getting off track here. Okay, there's the watercolor paper. Okay, so that's the paper that we need. Alright, so let's go ahead and close that out. And I'm going to go ahead and try to paint again and see how that looks. Let's do Dry on Wet. That looks a little bit better. Let me pull my color picker here. I think it's like a really dark tone there, so let's do harsh lines. I guess this would be like a sketchy brush. I mean, that's what I would use it for. Oh, that blends beautifully. Oh, that's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. I'm sorry, I accentuate words sometimes very weirdly. I'm a weirdo. Okay, Heavy Bleed. Ooh, I really like this. I could see myself like drawing pears with this in watercolor. I like pears. You guys like pears? I like pears and bananas and kiwi. That's really cool. Let's see what happens if I put some white. Oh, that's too much. Maybe if I turn down the luminance. Okay, there we go. See how oh, that's pretty cool. I really like that. That's a really cool brush. Let's see, Just a Spot. What's that all about? Let's do blue now. I'm feeling turquoise. Oh, that's really cool. So it is Just a Spot. So these are kind of like watercolor drippies, I guess. It doesn't let you paint with it. It's just a spot, just like it says. I'm used to things not being as literal. Like when they say just a spot, it really isn't. And this one, it says just add water. So whatever your color is, it's going to add water to it, I guess. So that's really cool. What if I made it clear? See how that... Okay. So it kind of like, it's a gray washed out. Whatever your color is, it just adds water with that color. It makes it like smeary. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I guess you could change the settings in that to make it a little bit better. Let's see, low blending. Okay. There's nothing low blending about that. That's a really good blender. It blends it. I guess you would have to change the settings to make it lower, but it seems to be doing an even blending for me. Small strokes on wet. Oh, I like that. So this is kind of like blending with the color that you have. Like I have a pink color. I guess I should probably use colors that blend better. So I should have used green and blue on this side, but I'm being retarded. But I like the way that blends. It's pretty cool. Okay, so we're on thin wet strokes. Let's see. Let me delete this layer and let's start using colors that go together. I'm sorry guys, I'm being janky. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the green and the blue. I'm gonna use the delicate, dry, whatever. Okay. And then I'm gonna get the blue, blend those together. And then I'm gonna get an actual green to do the rest so we can see how that works. Okay, thin strokes on wet. Okay, so that's looking really good. It's blending very well together. See how pretty that looks when you use the right color combinations? Okay, and then unclean brush. Okay, my brush is not clean. That's basically what we're getting here. I don't know. I'm going to use blue this time. And then the last one is wet on wet. So let's see. So I'm using the turquoise color, blue. And it's just basically giving a rough blend. I don't know if I like this brush. I guess you could change the settings. Let's see. I'm going to less green and more blue. Ooh, that's pretty rough. Well, you'll just have to play with these and see, you know, exactly how it's going to work for you. I don't know. I'm going to go back to the small strokes on wet, see how that, yeah, I really like that one. And of course you can make your own watercolor brushes. So if you have watercolor brushes already, you can convert those. Basically, all you have to do is go to convert like Procreate brushes or Photoshop brushes. You just have to stamp out the head of the brush, you know, and then save it as a ping file, and then you upload that brush, and then whatever filter that you're using, you can upload that too, and then just basically copy the settings from Photoshop or Procreate into the brush designer. And you have to do that all manual, unfortunately. So there's no cross compatibility with brushes. But this is really cool. I really enjoyed ArtRage 6. Let me know if you enjoyed this, you know, overview of what's new in ArtRage 6. Give me a thumbs up and hit that bell. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a great day.